Welcome back guys, Prakash Nalkar this side. Video 19 of this advanced level framework development series, and in continuation with last video where I spoke about how to create issue in JIRA automatically. Okay, we are here to test, but yeah, along with this particular feature we are going to test it. So here I'll talk today about how to attach the screenshot of failed test case to JIRA issue that we have created earlier. Okay, so as of now with JIRA API, what we cannot manage doing both the things like creating the bug or defect, or creating the issue in JIRA automatically and adding the attachment in single go. We cannot do that because they have given two separate APIs for that. So by using the first API, till now we managed to create the defect, or I would say bug in JIRA, and we'll test it again. Yeah, but yeah, in this video I'm going to show you how we can add attachment, that is screenshot of failed test case in JIRA, followed by next video I'll speak about how to add a test data, which is again going to be very important if you add in a JIRA, because I should know what and all test data I did used to reproduce this particular scenario. Okay, so this is something I cannot continue in this video because this is going to be a bit lengthy part, because I need to create a separate drive a separate factory object for this hash map, and then now we need to access and get it, something like that. We'll continue in the next video, but for now let us focus on adding the attachment. Okay, if I go to my Eclipse. Okay, so what we will do is we'll create one parameter in JIRA called as automatic issue creation in JIRA, and we can make it as a on or off. Let's say I'll put a comment. How can I put the comment? Okay, give me a minute. Again, you cannot try using the secret key. It will not work because by the time you watch this video, it is going to be deleted. I'll put comment like on or off. This is going to be value for this particular parameter. Okay, so this will decide whether you want to turn on this automatic issue creation feature in your framework or turn it off, whatever, because it depends on each and everyone, or case to case situation based, whether sometime you want to make it on or make it off, whatever. I'll go to my JIRA operations class, which is present under reusable component, and so this is something what we created last time. Create JIRA issues, where we passed lot many things, and then we added the JSON body basically by one of the private method. But for this particular method, what I have created for adding the attachment, we don't need any body. Okay, how it works, let me show you first in Postman. Okay, though in Postman it didn't work for me, it shows 200. Okay, but it didn't added the attachment. It looks like some issue from Postman side. I tried from other tool and it works, but from Postman it doesn't work, but that should be fine. Okay, now this attachment. Okay, so to get the details on this attachment, what you can do is you can go and you can look here for add attachment, and you should get all the details on this developers.atlassian.com documentation basically. Okay, so they have asked us you should have this particular token as a no check as a header parameter, so that is something we have added, and they have given this should be the post request, and this is the endpoint where you are going to hit. And in the endpoint, do you see something like issue ID or key? That is, to which JIRA number, to which defect number, to which issue number you want to add this attachment. Okay, so post request, endpoint, and this is the header request. These three things we know. The next thing, we need the credentials as usual, which we are going to use how we used it in the last session. And again here I need to specify which file I need to attach. So for attaching the file, what content type we are going to set? Multi-part form data, and we are going to pass the value. Okay, so the same thing you can see into Postman, that is in post request. Under post request, this is my domain name. followed by a rest endpoint, and this qdpm-7 is my defect number where I want to add this attachment. Okay, under authorization it would be same what I did followed in the last session. Type as basic auth, username as my login username, and password is not my actual password but is going to be my secret key or token, API token I would say. Then I'll go to body, and here under body I need to go to form data, and under form data we need to select this type as file. Okay, you see two things, type as text and type as file. So because we are going to add the attachment multimedia object, we are going to call it as a multi-part form data, and under value we need to select the value. Okay, so if I get the option as select file, and I should be able to select the file, let's say any, and then we can post it. Okay, though this post shows me successful 200 okay response, but this response I get it as a blank, that means it didn't work somehow in Postman. But this is the way. I don't need to pass any body, any JSON request body, nothing is required, just I need to pass the form data along with what attachment I need to do. Now the similar stuff we are going to do into but with the help of HTTP client. So again, three common things. First, create the object for HTTP client the same way. Okay, next thing, create HTTP post object and HTTP response object. Okay, HTTP client is a platform where we are going to post the request and going to get the response. HTTP post is the request where we are going to add the URL, then parameters, then attachment and all those stuff, and HTTP response is something where we are going to get the response. Okay, starting from first, what's the file name which you want to attach? So the file name and issue ID, right? Because this particular endpoint needs issue ID, right? So like to which issue you want to uh, add the attachment. And if you remember from the earlier method create JIRA issues, we did return something called as issue ID or issue name or whatever we call. And along with that I would be needing file path, which file you want to attach. Okay, great. So file path I will get. Now file to upload, just a file object I did created, HTTP client object I did created, URL again in the same way how we did created in the last session. This JIRA URL is referred from here from my properties file, and this is the endpoint basically where I need to concatenate issue ID in between. Then I have something called as HTTP post. HTTP post where I have created the object of it and passed the URL, and then again base64 encoder. What it is, why we need it, just refer my previous video where I spoke it in detail. Now this is something new over here, multi-part entity builder. And why we need this? Because we want to send the multimedia files. In earlier method, if you see, we have something called a string entity, because that time we had a JSON payload, but this time we have a multimedia object. That's the reason we need to that's of type MIME basically. Okay, multimedia object you are sending across internet. So multi-part multi-part entity builder we are creating, and then we are adding a file where we are passing the file body, and then we are going to set the entity to my post request, and finally we are going to execute the post request, and we are going to get the response under HTTP response. Okay, and I'm simply checking if response contains 200 okay, that means attachment uploaded. If not, that means attachment is not uploaded. Okay, pretty simple code here. I don't need any JSON body. The two things what I need is issue ID and file path. Okay, and one more parameter what I spoke about is about this feature, whether I want to turn it on or off. So this is something which we handle in listeners. Let's see. So now where can we call this? So we did created a methods in JIRA operations class. Now where we can call them? If we go to listeners, right, where we are taking the screenshots on test failure, we are capturing the screenshot, add the screenshot of failed test case into the report. So this is the same place where we should log the defect as well, right? So so what we are doing is on test failure, if my test case is failed, then only I should be logging JIRA, right? So what I'll do is, first I will create the screenshot. Then what I will do is, I have just taken some screenshot path and then copying it from my source location to whatever location I want in, and then putting into extend factory, and this is in try catch block, and my code should be somewhere here after adding into extend report, right? So this is the place where I'm going to add JIRA defect creation task part. Okay, so here the very first thing what I will do is I will check from my config.properties whether this feature is on. If it is on, then only I'm going to have this, right? So okay, so let me go. This is how we access the value from properties file, properties operations class, static method, get properties value by key, and we pass this one, right? So I'll go to my listeners implementation, and here I'm going to say, let's say JIRA create, or I'll say automatic JIRA creation feature, automatic JIRA creation is equal to this, and my key is, let me copy key for this particular thing is this. Okay, now it can have either value as on or off, right, as I mentioned. So I'll say if this particular value automatic JIRA creation, so this is something you can handle in different ways, right? It's up to each and everyone how you want to do that. So I'll say equals, if it is equal to on, I should use equals ignore case as well, equal ignore case, because sometime we may add it in lower case, should be fine. Equals ignore case on, if it is on, then only I am going to write the code, I'm going to call those methods over here. Okay, now in order to call those methods, those are present under JIRA operations. Let me create the object of JIRA operations over here, not here, that should be under listeners implementation. So what I'll do is I will create object over here. Let's JIRA operation, let's say JIRA ops is equal to new JIRA operations. Okay, and with the help of this JIRA ops, I should be able to call those methods. Okay, so my very first method is I'm going to create, sorry, it should be dot create JIRA issue, and I need to pass a lot of parameters. That should be fine, I'll have a look. And this create JIRA issues return me a string, right? So I'll say string, let's say issue number is equal to this. Now this issue number I am going to pass to my attachment part, right? So again, that is something I am going to call from JIRA ops dot add attachment, and here I need to pass the issue number and my file path. So file path is going to be my screenshot path, this screenshot path of my failed test case, right? So okay, great. Now coming to this project name. So this project name I am going to hard code as of now. You can give it from anywhere, wherever you want, right? In my case it is qdpm. Okay, you may give it from properties file, or you may hard code there itself if you think like, okay, that's the only one thing you have, or it depends on how you are going to handle it. Issue summary, what issue summary you are going to put. So let's say okay, let me create couple of variables over here. Let's say string issue sum, issue summary, let's say issue s is equal to what issue summary I'm going to put is, let's say automation, just some summary. Okay, automation, give me a minute, automation, automation test failed, Okay, and what is my test case name? My test case name is going to be how can I retrieve test case name here? By using this itest result, right? We have some itest result interface over here. So by using this result object, I should be able to access my method name, that is name of my test case, result.getMethod.getMethod name. So I should be putting the same thing here. Okay, so this is my issue summary, and I'm going to create one more. Issue description is equal to, now here I can pass some description, right? So currently I don't know what description I'm going to pass, because under issue description I usually pass some test data, what test data I have, right? So under issue description, for now I'll just say test data to be passed here. Okay, in my next video I'm going to explain in detail how you can get the test data from HashMap here. So this is going to be my issue description. My component is something, what component I did used here, give me a minute, let me check. Component is something I'm going to hard code. Okay, so it's again it's up to you how you are going to use it. Sorry, that should be 10,000 priority. As I said, I used to give the lowest priority. For lowest it is 5. Label, what label you want to give? Let's say label I want what defect it is, let's say QDPM, and okay, let it be QDPM. What kind of environment it is? Let's say my environment is SIT environment, and to whom I want to assign it. So you can give either ID or name. In my case I am giving this particular ID, and that's it. Okay, great. So what else? Did I miss anything around with try catch? Okay, so let me remove all these exceptions. Let me keep only one generic exception. Okay, and here as well. Fine. And what it tells me, that should be initialization one. Yeah, I'm going to initialize it to null. Should be fine. Okay, great. So my current value for this particular status is on. Expecting it should create automatic defect. Now what should I do is I should forcefully fail some test. So for that what I will do is I will fail it. How can I fail it? Let's say under this verification, let's say assert equals, I will try to fail it something like let's say test data dot get here. Instead of putting this task name, let's say if I'm expecting task name as, let's say task failure name. Okay, anything. Okay, just because I don't want to match exact name and I want to fail it, so my test case will fail over here. Now it will go to the listeners, and in listeners it will come over here, it will create the defects, it will add the attachment. Except test data, it will do all the stuff. Okay, now that's it. Let me execute my test. I'll execute it from test.engine.xml. Let me run it. Does it started? Yeah, both of my tests are going to be failed because I did modified some code into my actual application, which is QDPM. So it is not able to connect to DB and not able to store the data into to the DB. Okay, so that is where it is going to fail. Okay, so now here it is going to fail, not able to connect, I suppose. Yeah, so it's still loading, and that means it is not able to connect, so it will fail. Yeah, it has failed, and now I'm expecting it should have created defect in JIRA. Let's wait. We have one more test to run that will get launched. If I go to Eclipse meanwhile, just to check what is happening. Okay, it's not yet closed. Okay, so you see some message got printed like attachment uploaded and all. That means my defect creation is successful. We'll verify that in Jira. Just give me a minute. Let this finish. Okay, anyway, this step is going to be failed. So I'll directly go to Jira and let me refresh my Jira. And here you go. Here you see QDPM18. That's my defect number, and defect name is automation test failed task creation test, and you can add any description whatever you want. Okay, and if I go to the details, I was expecting the screenshot. What screenshot I'll see? The blank page, right? So it must have captured the screenshot of this particular blank page. So let me go to my Jira. Okay, and okay, what and all details we entered: the name, summary, test data to be pasted, environment, SIT, assignee, reporter, label, component, priority, and majorly screenshot. Okay, so you see under attachment there is one screenshot. As I said, it is going to be look like something like this. Okay, because that's how my application shows him, right? So this screenshot is captured and got attached to this particular application. So I'm expecting two for two test cases, and you see, yeah, two are created, 18 and 19, because my two of my test cases are failed. Now it's up to you how you are going to handle this logic in your test cases, how you want to implement this, okay, based on your requirement, application, test cases, multiple criterias. Okay, but yeah, this is the way how we can use REST APIs for creating the bug in Jira, and finally adding the attachment, that is screenshot of the field test cases. Like whatever things you want to add, you can attach them and upload them into Jira. Okay, one final step is pending from this particular video is how to add the test data from hash map. Okay, so as of now we are not adding any details into Jira, like what test data was used. So that is something we are going to use in our add in our next video. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it for this particular video. Thank you.